think a lot of our investors or our listeners are investing in real estate in some form or fashion. So they've gotten that part down, or they're at least dabbling there. How do you then expand beyond that, right? Where do you go next? If you want to, let's say you're investing, maybe some listeners are investing in single family homes, just like you did or had started back in 2001. And they're like, cool, this is working. Maybe I'll try something else. Where do they go? How do they get started?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think the way to approach this is, as an investor, is to always look at, what do you have? What do you want it to do for you? What is it supposed to be doing? And how does it fit into your overall strategy? So when you build out a cash flow portfolio, and most folks start, let's just say, with single family, or maybe they start with multifamily, they start in real estate. And of course, there's many other alternative asset classes which you could get wild on, but those are sort of the gateways of alternative asset investing is real estate. But once you are invested as a real estate investor and you're looking for ways to build a cash flow portfolio, here's some things to think about. Everything has to do a job. So they're all like little, I would say they're all employees, all of these different asset classes and investments in your cash flow little empire. So what are they doing? What are their jobs? Is it an investment or an asset that is really playing a role in reducing your taxes? Is it an investment or an asset class that produces really aggressive cash flow that's going to help you become financially independent and financially free? Is it an asset, a class or investment that has a huge upside potential? So that's going to appreciate in value significantly because it could help you with taxes, reduce taxes. It could provide cash flow or it could provide a lot of appreciation. So those are the things to keep in mind when you're looking at different asset classes. And there are certain ones that play different roles. So I'll give some examples. When you look at taxes, there are energy investments, let's just say, that are very powerful, whether it be oil and gas, and different types of energy, even the new greener projects that are out there. There's very, very good tax incentives for them. So that might be part of your cash flow portfolio where, yes, it creates a little bit of cash flow for you, not a lot of appreciation, but it plays a big role in reducing your footprint with regards to taxes. Then there could be something that is very, very powerful in cash flow and very heavy on cash flow, but it doesn't quite have the massive tax benefits or appreciation upside. And then there could be, for example, a play that isn't really a cash flow play, doesn't really do anything on taxes, but has a significant upside potential for you, like something like life settlements. It plays a role in your overall portfolio, and having all of these things in place is very important. And then, of course, there are asset classes that have all three of them. And there's some of the favorite ones. And that's why we love real estate, and especially multifamily real estate, because they're great on taxes, they're great on cash flow, and they're great on the appreciation side. So that's the things that I would advise folks to think about. It's not just, ooh, this is attractive or the new shiny object or, great cocktail party conversation. But it's like, no, what is it actually doing for you? Because one asset or investment might make sense for someone else, but not necessarily for you. So to figure out what it's supposed to do in this little cash flow empire that you're building as an employee in that cash flow empire.
So I'm curious, MC, on your book, is your book organized in this way where you talk about sort of these three different buckets are in the different niches? Is that how it's organized? Or talk to us a little bit about that. Yeah.
So in the book, what I did was, and the question that kept coming up was, you've interviewed the best minds in business and investing for over 6 years. There's like over 800 episodes. What are some of the most interesting investment opportunities? And I was chewing on that a little bit, and I'm like, well, maybe I should write a book about it. I asked someone, a friend of mine, I said, I think I have an idea for this book of like putting all of the best investment ideas all together in a book. And he goes, have you written the book yet? And I said, no. He's like, why haven't you? That'll be a great book. So I go, okay, I guess and that friend of mine has written several books and has been on bestseller lists and so forth. So, I take it from where things come. I'm like, I think I have an idea here. But I organized the book. I started with, again, sort of asset classes that folks would be familiar with: business, single family, multifamily. And then I kind of just put some interesting ones together. So I didn't classify it by that. But and it's in a random order too, because the question that I get is it from 1 to 21? Like, is your best ones? And I knew that would come up. So intentionally, I just randomized those kinds of ones. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, a lot of reflection. But yeah, all of these different things fall into those categories in some way, shape, or form. And then there's other things that you could also consider. Is risk from a risk management standpoint and hedging. You might be in one asset class, but another asset class might be a great risk management strategy or a hedging strategy for the asset class that you're heavily invested in. There might be an asset class that could stabilize your cash flow portfolio. And there's some great niches that allows you to do that. And then there's some asset classes that are totally uncorrelated to anything. And whether they be economy, whether it be markets, anything, those might be some great ones to take a look at too when you build out a cash flow portfolio.